Guys, so we have an urgent information coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. You have a chief of the general staff of the Polish armed forces is sounding the alarm here. I want to read this part really quick. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you again for your support. So it says here, the enemy has begun preparation for war. He is creating a certain situation here that is intended to create conditions conducive to potential aggression on Polish territory. Now, this is coming out from the chief of the general staff, General Wiesław, referring to a series of cyber strikes and acts of sabotage. Now, the general also assured that Poland is capable of responding to this threat in various ways. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Once again, thank you so much for your support. So we're going to see what's going on here, guys. Once again, this is a bombshell news. One of NATO member is sounding the alarm. Armed attack being prepared. Chief of Polish General Staff warns of rising threat. All right, let's see what's going on here, guys. So it says the Chief of the General Staff of the Polish Armed Forces, General Wiesław, stated that his country is effectively in a pre-war state. According to the general, the actions being recorded by intelligence services are aimed at undermining citizens' trust in the gov, security forces, and key state institutions. The advisory is creating an environment intended to be conducive to aggression on Polish territory. Kukula emphasized comparing the situation to the events of 1939. That's basically World War II stuff there. He stressed that today everything depends on the position of Poland itself and NATO member states, whether they can effectively deter threats and invest in strengthening defense capabilities. Any attack on NATO territory must receive a decisive response and create a significant risk for a potential aggressor. Sounds like Article 5 here. So once again, this is a big breaking news, guys. Very important news. The general also commented on the incident in the Mazovian, where a railway track on the Warsaw-Lublin route was damaged. He noted that the event could have the hallmarks of sabotage, although officials' conclusions are still pending. So we are not defenseless. We have the full arsenals of tools to respond to such threat, either systematically or asymmetrically, Kukula added, now assuring that Poland is ready to react to any destructive actions by the advisory. Now it says here, when asked what the series of cyber and acts of sabotage recorded in Poland indicate, he replied that he believes an adversary has begun preparing for war. Basically, he's referring to Russia. Russia is preparing. They're getting ready. And I just don't see that happening. I don't see Russia going against NATO. NATO is really strong, very, very powerful alliance, and NATO combined have more nuclear than Russia. I mean, if Russia goes against NATO, I mean they're committing suicide. When it comes to NATO activating Article 5. All right. So once again, it says here he is creating, I guess referring to Russia. He is creating an environment here designed to undermine public trust in the gov, in key institutions such as the armed forces and the police, and to create conditions favorable for potential aggression on Polish territory, Chief General said. Russia is preparing for provocation in Europe. Earlier, the newly appointed head of Germany's Federal Intelligence Service, Martin Jager, stated that the Russian leader, Vladimir, is showing a willingness to test Europe's borders and is capable of provoking a hot confrontation at any moment. Ukraine military intelligence emphasized that in the medium term, Russia considers the possibility of a large-scale war in Europe as virtually inevitable. All right? So, again, Europe is, they still believe that Russia is going to do something in the near future. Additionally, it was previously reported that the European Union is preparing to launch a major defense reform, which will include, among other measures, joint productions of strike drones. Brussels aims to ensure that Europe is fully prepared for a potential armed confrontation by 2030. You guys already know 2030 is around the corner. 2030 is around the corner. So let me bring this information up too, guys. Let me bring this one up. The chief of the General Staff of Polish Armed Forces stated that Poland is effectively in a pre-war situation due to the ongoing sabotage, arsons, and cyber that he attributes to Russia's preparation for potential aggression. The general commented on Polish state radio that the adversary, Russia, has begun preparation for war by engaging in hybrid warfare tactics on Polish territory. He explained these actions are designed to, number one, create an environment in Poland that is conducive to future potential aggression. Number two, undermine public confidence in the Gov and key institutions such as the armed forces and police. Now, again, you have the chief of the general staff, Kakula, emphasized that these incidents are not isolated events but part of a broader strategy, which he described as an unprecedented act of sabotage aimed at the security of the Polish state. Now, he assured that the Poland is prepared to respond to these threats with a full arsenal of tools. Full arsenals of tools. Very powerful weapons they're talking about there. These remarks come amidst a surge in hybrid attack targeting critical infrastructures in Poland. I don't think Poland infrastructure were hit, though. I mean, cyber goes, again, it happens every day. We got hit. I mean, again, they won't tell us, but again, Down Detector, you got all these apps that were hit. I do believe a lot of them were cyber. I mean, we are definitely seeing, against 2025, cyber wars going on every single day. These remarks come amidst a surge in hybrid strike targeting critical infrastructure in Poland, including a recent explosion, on a railway track used to transport military aid to Ukraine. That's the problem here, is that you guys are supplying Ukraine, and Ukraine is using those equipments to strike and take out the Bear soldiers, the Russians. And so the Bear is not going to be pleased with all the stuff that's coming in. I remember when I was a young one, my mother used to tell me, mind your own business. Don't get involved in people's business. NATO and the Sleeping Giants getting involved in Russia's business. They're going to see something pretty soon. It says here, once again, including a recent explosion on a railway track used to transport military aid to Ukraine, which Polish authorities are investigating as foreign orchestrated sabotage in recent months. Now, it says here, Polish authorities have detained numerous individuals suspected of involvement in the Russian-linked sabotage plots. Excuse me. All right, give me 1 second here, guys. I want to see if there's any more updates here. All right, so all this is coming out today. Once again, Chief of General Staff of Poland, the enemy began to prepare for war. Now, it seems like all this is the same. Um, I'm just going to skip some of this stuff here. 2 weeks ago, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth made a speech calling for the fight against bureaucracy. That has nothing to do with this one here, though. Hold on, give me a second. This is the moment like 1939 or hopefully 1981, a moment of growing urgency. Enemies are gathering, threats are growing, you feel it, and I feel it. If we want to prevent war and avoid war, and that's what we want, we have to prepare. Said Hughes. Kakula was asked to comment on these words of the Pentagon chief. This is a very apt comparison because today everything depends on our altitude, on whether we manage to deter the enemy or, on the contrary, encourage him aggression. General reply. Kind of think about it, it does sound similar though. It does. I remember P. Hegseth, and I did post a video on this channel. It's like a 1 hour video. P. Hegseth, the Secretary of War, has urged, put out a message that we are at war. We got cyber, we got stuff going on within, and we need to be prepared. That's what he said. He also had all the generals come to America throughout the entire world, and they were discussing all this stuff too. And now we are seeing another top chief general, and he's from Poland. He's sounding, well, he's basically sounding the alarms, almost similar message. This is a very apt comparison. So he believes that Poland is in a pre-war period, and the Cold War was also such a period. It is about managing this period, building a so-called effective deterrence policy. The general also commented on the incident in the Mazovian. We already know that news. We're going to skip it. In Poland, on November the 16th, we already know this one here, the railroad was damaged on the route to the border with Ukraine. The defense minister said that the military would check 120 kilometers of track near the border with Ukraine. Man, we are definitely seeing some war preparation here. All right, it seems like this is all of it here. So, yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the message that Pete Hegseth gave last week. I think it was a week and a half ago. But yeah, this is some very important news here, guys. You got NATO is getting ready, and I did post a video a while ago. There was NATO ally, I think Romania. Their ship got hit or something. The oil ship got hit, and Russia struck it. So we are definitely seeing some high tensions happening out there. Romania is sounding the alarm. Now, again, they're not going to activate Article 5, but they're keeping an eye on Russia, and seems like the bear is becoming a little more aggressive now. And I could understand why, because of their oil facilities are getting hit. So their oil facility are getting hammered. So Russia said, if we go down, if our economy collapse, or if we lose this operation, this war going on, all of you are coming down with us. Those that help Ukraine send weapons, those that stuck their nose in our, operation. They have warned that they will be taking down anyone who has stuck their nose in their business. And that's the thing about the sleeping giant. And I'm not trying to be mean here, but we do stick our nose in other people's business. We do stick our nose in, everybody's business. Eventually, you're going to see something. It's like Mama said, mind your business. If not, you're going to see something, and it ain't going to be pretty. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get to access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.